Holy snapping duck shit.
My good mate from Bump and Run Booker joins us.
I'm excited for another great show tonight. Give it the hoot nanny.
Hey everyone, welcome along to Trackside with Kokpit, brought to you by the crew at Garage16. Big shout out going to Aaron Lewis and everyone associated with G16. Give them a follow and a like on social media. Heaps going on there behind the scenes. We'll catch you, Aaron, one day and look forward to seeing how things are going down there. With the big weekend of Speedway getting underway, it's Labour weekend. Counting down the days, counting down the hours before you get your methanol rush. That sausage, that hot dog, that dirt in the face, with a big smile on his face. He's amped for a big weekend. My good friend Booker joins us. Hey, Books.
Hey mate, yeah. It's not many sleeps now for us. There's a few out there that already had the lucky chance of going to some opening meetings last weekend and seen some great racing and some speedway. I mean, I saw some images and that from Wongas. They look like they had some bloody good crowd there and good cars and a good turnout, as we would come to expect from up the V, But yeah, it's getting close this weekend, Labour weekend. We've got so many tracks opening this weekend. It's all go. This is where the silly season begins, I suppose you'd say, wouldn't you?
Oh, it's like you said, Booker, social media is just blowing up with everything that's getting underway in regards to what you mentioned last season, especially down in the South Island. Some of the liveries on the cars just look outstanding with their short turnaround in the off season, mate, to what they are now. We spoke about this off air about Palmy, the amount of cars for their
Yeah.
opening meeting this Labour weekend, but credit to everyone involved. It looks like they've done the hard mahi in the off season, graphically done a lot of work. The sign writers must have been busy during the off season getting all those wonderful designs done on all the race cars for Speedway. And it's just good to see it up and vibing hard out on social media. And credit to everyone involved, not only drivers, but their families, their sponsors, all their crews. And yeah, we're going to be continuing on our little journey here on our show on a Wednesday. But like you say, what a weekend it was last weekend. I don't even know when it starts when it comes to sport. How proud is it to be in a small country down in the bottom of the world, New Zealand, and what we achieved on the world scale? Not only on the water, on the cricket pitch, but everywhere. A
Well,
massive weekend. I don't know if we'll get a bigger weekend than that, even in motorsport, actually, in New Zealand. I don't know. It was a huge weekend, mate.
oh mate, it's just for a small country and what we achieve. We punch well above our weight in a lot of things, I mean, and even in the motorsport side of things. I mean, Liam Lawson, into the point, starting off the back of the grid, like what a fantastic drive by that young man, his first big major drive in F1 and just crushed it, just, yeah, I mean, it's just great. It really is, you see it all over the bloody social medias. I mean, you probably see it more than me because I don't use my social media like everybody else does, so I miss half the stuff until you show me, have you seen this? And then I get to see it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like just incredible. And like you're saying, the amount of work that's gone in the off season by people too. We shouldn't also forget all the volunteers that have been doing all the last month, probably been going flat out learning things, and new people that have stepped up that I've seen that have stepped up into roles on SNZ and committees and stuff this season. It's fantastic. It's good to see so much more enthusiasm coming on board in that. I know of a few SNZ officials that have become officials this season. I think that's great, and yeah, just awesome. That's what keeps us going in the sport, all those volunteers, officials, the lot. It's not just the promoters and tracks and the drivers. It's everything, hey.
Oh, it is, and I've seen some of the tracks already doing some promotional events around their up and coming meetings. And I'll just share this with you as we get into the big weekend. Obviously, that's what the weekend looks like. We all know it's Labour weekend. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tracks getting underway on the Saturday. Then on the Sunday, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tracks getting underway. All the information you can simply go to the website and check it all out, which is speedway.co.nz. That'll give you a fix on what's going on around trackside. And Obviously, there's some of the smaller tracks that are going on at the moment as well. They started last weekend, and it's just great to see, all those tracks will just have many numbers of cars, mate. It's going to be
Oh,
huge. And I know
mate, the
you're going to
numbers
do
that are
them.
there already, Kins, just like we were talking off air before about Palmy's numbers, like what the hell? They got full fields, they're turning people away. I mean, that's so great for the start of a season, mate. You know what I mean? Like to see that sort of excitement coming into our sport straight away is fantastic. I mean, I thought we were going to be short on numbers because I've heard of so many people that aren't ready yet.
Mm.
Here we go. Palmy's opening night on Saturday with those numbers is going to be absolutely freaking epic, And I hope a lot of them come over to Hawke's Bay the next night. Although Wanganui's as well racing the same night, so we're sort of in competitive with them as well. But yeah, the just incredible.
Yeah, it is. You're right. It is incredible, the quick turnaround. Like we said, I can't believe how quick the year has gone by. Hey, a big shout out to Aaron Ferguson, Ian Wilson, Wayne Alton, Mark Goodman, Aaron Lewis, Mike Harvey, Kerry Russ, AJ O'Brien. Hey, boys, what's going on? Mike, mate, we're going to catch up with you on the 2nd of November. If you don't realize, Booker and I will be over at Huntley Speedway with the opening night, which coincides with the fireworks, by the way. The two of us, you will hear us on the microphones in the Huntley Speedway commentary box on that night, and we'll be there for the 16th as well. Mark Goodman, councillor, what a time to celebrate. You're right, Mark, with the Thames Valley Swamp Foxes winning the Meads Cup for the Bunnings Warehouse Heartland Championship. It was huge. It was like Eden Park and Little Te Aroha. Countdown has started for the big trip down south from Bill to you, Books. Yeah, mate, we're looking forward to it. Jace Coley over in Australia. I'm in Wellington tonight. B-Man. Hope you joined it down there. Steve Palmer, Trent James. Yep, repping the P.
Yeah, that's
156
shocked. I saw that picture come up, Ken, and I was like, and I'll tell you what, another one I saw today, which shocked me, which I that's been kept very quiet, unless I'm just out of the loop, which I probably am. But Randy T has got a P on his car.
Yep.
Was that all over the Facebook? Did I miss that, or was that just like boom? It's there, mate. Had you seen it?
Yeah. It's there. It's there. There's a lot of talk about that.
Because I saw that. I went and looked at the entry list at Palmy for this weekend, and it said Randall Tarrant, and there was a P, but I was like, hang on a minute, what's going on here? You got Randy T, Trent James. Should we speculate now, mate, who's going to be a Panther or a Mustang this season? Yeah. Trent James didn't get a start at Wongas.
Yeah.
He raced for the Mustangs, did he, last season?
Yes.
You've got now Randy T with a P on his car. They must be pushing for teams races. I mean, I don't know. That's a speculation and a rumor I can start. So, but yeah, and then you've also got Ron Tyes, Brendan Ty. He raced Mustangs last year. Does he stay with a P on his car this year, or has he gone back to Wellington?
I'll be a P, bro.
So the Palmy might be building again, mate. And yeah, that's interesting to me when I saw that today. I thought, hey, you're supposed to come back to Wellington, Randy. What the hell? But hey, yeah. I mean, like they do what they do, and there's a reason behind it for them. So we shouldn't put them down or begrudge them for going to another track either. Like this brings me to that point about our stop your bullying, see it, say it, stop it thing. We see these guys make the transition from track to track, and we need to show them the respect that they deserve. There's obviously a reason for them going to that track, so let's support them. Hey, good on Randy, good on Trent. If that's what they want to do, and that's where they feel the best they can proceed. You got Zane Riddick that's gone to Wellington. These guys are doing it for their benefit, not for anyone else's. So let's support their decisions and not get on social media and say, oh, you're a trader or you're this, you're that, you're other. They're just regular people that are doing what's best for them, and maybe there's an incentive for them to be able to afford to run the sport that they love, because it does come down to that too sometimes, Kins, I think, is sponsorship, doesn't it?
Oh, it does. Hey, that's what makes it work, Books. It's the financial commitment, and we don't know the ins and outs of why these two young men have gone where they've gone. And hey, that's not just them two. There's others that have shifted around track to track as well. And all you got to do is get out there and support him or her
Yeah.
on the track when they get out there and race. Whatever leader they have out there, at least they're out there to entertain you, the fans. And the biggest thing that Booker and I speak about is this weekend is a big weekend with 6 tracks on Saturday, 5 tracks on Sunday. Get your bum on the trackside
Yeah.
and support the club, because
Yeah.
that's what keeps them operating.
Yeah.
Plenty of giveaways. We look forward to that, Mike. We'll be calling you out on the microphone, mate. Get up to the Repco, up to the little corporate box up the top there. Cody, how are you, mate? Cam Roygard, you're right, Mark. Good to see him back in the AB team, taking on, of course, the Japanese team this weekend. Great recovery. Roygard now 58M. Wow. Pinochle, how are you, young man?
Pinochle, I only just took my Rawiri racing shirt off for this one tonight too. Had it on all day, my Rawiri. You gotta see people look at me when I walk around Hawke's Bay with that on. Hey, I tell you, I wreck the Pinochle all the time, bro. one of the few shirts that still fit me.
Oh, good on you. Good on you. Mike McCarthy and the Rees chassis, 888P. Yeah, Cody,
we knew that.
there's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot going on in the Speedway world, and it's good to see. And good to see the new young ones from Mini Stocks making their debut into their new class for the upcoming season as well. And watch out, it's going to be some big meetings, a lot of entertainment. Fingers crossed that the weather's good and we get to see a lot of racing. We're bringing our first guest, mate, who's down in Christchurch, and bring in Mr. Ammz, eh? Should we bring him in, Books?
Yeah, bring him in.
Hey, the Mana Wave, here he is. Hey, the Mana Wave, man. Eh? Kia ora,
Been
bro.
far
How
too
are
long,
you?
boys.
Yeah,
Very
I know.
good, boys. It's been far too long.
Yeah, so how's all church or Christchurch teaching, treating you, bro?
It's been good, and as much as I enjoyed my time up in Hawke's Bay last season, I just was far too far away from my kids, unfortunately. So I had to come back home, and it's nice to be back by my family again. And yeah, having a much better go this time around in Christchurch. Not long got in from Mahi long ago. I've just been putting up some frames today, being made out of Matthew Shaw by 90, and I put up some jib sheets as well, some Brad Philpott by 1200 long. So hey, I had to make sure I took my smoko at Peter Rees o'clock this morning and my lunch at Asheries o'clock this afternoon. So it's been a good day.
Mate, we're going to have to do a bit of a bingo night. You're going to have to call it all out one night. When we would do a fundraiser bingo, you're going to be on there, Mike, calling out with the numbers and the drivers that are associated with it. I love what you do, because a lot of the stuff that Ammz has just mentioned, if you follow him on TikTok or any other social media, you can see him do those funny skit videos. And that's something Booker and I are going to venture into as part of our travels down south with the Rees Tour. We're going to open up a TikTok world, which is kind of unfamiliar, but we're going to get fun.
We're going to have some fun. We're going to do some dancing and some singing and carrying on. We're going to get Kins on the old guitar too, I think, eh?
Yeah, we'll be singing up a storm, mate. Mate, what we got you on, obviously we're a part, and thank you once again, Ammz, for inviting us here at Kokpit to be part of your It's Only Ammz Speedway Awards of Excellence, bro. And I suppose for the viewers that jumped on nice and early, hey Loz, hey Carl, good to see you back from Fiji. Look, Mark says it's the mayor of Taniwharo on the show. Cheer the GMs. Steve Palmer, Modu Goodley, Richard and Trudy, Mickey Quinn has entered a super saloon at Palmy.
Yep.
Wow. Wayne, yeah. Holy hell. Ammz, let's explain to our viewers how this all works.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you follow the NRL, you'll be familiar with the Dally M Medalist Awards. Basically, I just copied that concept or that blueprint and applied it to Speedway. So I found some classes that I thought I'd be interested in doing, and yeah, it's most of the premier classes, and they're represented by 5 Speedway legends who in my own mind, I thought stood out from the rest. So I thought, would name these classes after these awards, and give back to these Speedway legends that we looked up to when we were younger, watching them go around the tracks.
Awesome, bro. And that's how it works. It's over the season, obviously, and you accumulate points. And if you're familiar with the NRL and how that works around the Dally M Awards, it's in similarity. I know you're a league man, true at heart when it comes to your club back up here in the Waikato, but it's good to see you take that idea and put it into Speedway, your other passion too, eh?
Yeah, that's it's the feedback that I've been getting from the spectators as well as more so the drivers actually, because they're just as much as part of it as anybody else's. So most of the feedback I've been getting is I've had a few that say because of this initiative, it makes them want to get out on the track each week to keep building up their points and stuff to stay in that points chase. So I mean, hey, if we can accommodate that and they are wanting to compete for that, you know, it's a win-win for everybody as much as it is for the drivers. It's putting bums on seats to watch these guys compete at the highest level, you know. And yeah, we're been in talks with books for actual awards night that we'll look at doing at the end of this coming season. So yeah, keep an eye out for that.
So,
Wicked.
So, Ammz, when you hear that feedback back from like drivers and saying, "Hey, look, your bloody awards made me go back to the track more," does that give you a bit more motivation just to keep up to speed with it and keep it going more? Because it really is promoting the sport, because it's also promoting the drivers getting to the track, which in tail it should feed right through to the fan base coming to the track to watch them.
Oh, without a doubt, you know, it's it gives me a bit of motivation to keep it going as well, because most times that I'm doing it is in my spare time, and most of my spare time goes towards my kids these days. But I'm usually up every Sunday morning prior to race night or after race night, probably 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, trying to collate all the points, all the results, and get all the points together. And I heavily rely on the MyLaps app to do all this stuff. Understandably, I probably might get some wrong. That might be because of infringements maybe, but those are not reflected through the MyLaps app, unfortunately. So whatever results that show on the MyLaps app is unfortunately what I see. So, but hey, drivers are more than happy to come and correct me if need be. If they stand and feel that hey, I got their points wrong, then hey, just flick me a message and I'll happily correct it, or we can do it accordingly to how we feel it could be right. Yeah.
And that happens, doesn't it, though, eh, kid? You know, like Ammz is relying on an app, so he's only going off the information that's fed to him. So if you feel you think, oh, should I got more points, then tell him, because he's not going to get angry about it. He just wants it to be correct and everybody to be happy, eh?
Yeah. Well, that's right. He just wants it to be true and reflective of the driver, what effort they do out on the track, because that's how to accumulate points. I'm glad he said he's using the MyLaps app, because when I last caught up with the bro, he said he was using the Abacus. I thought, holy hell, that goes way back, bro. No, you're old school. Abacus.
Slide
No,
it.
it's not even, not even call it Abacus, is it? It's an Abacus. No, that's cool, bro. It's good to see you moved on with technology and getting into it. But like you say, you know, and that's what makes things progress. The feedback, whether it's positive or negative, it all helps. And that's the best way to do it. Communication is key. And you only can do what you know, you know. So please don't get all up in arms if it doesn't seem to work out. If you know it's not going to work, get in contact with them and get it sorted. It's the easiest way. Communication is the best way through the season. Otherwise, all the Speedway rumor mill hits the fan, and oh my God, Bookface is telling the truth of everything. Okay, the old Facebook, Bookface.
Don't get me started on that.
Hey, Marty Goodley, evening camper, counsellor in Cockpinions, and our stock blocks brother and commentator. Steve Palmer. Who else we got here? Give us a look at the 44V, please, from Mark Goodman. Can you grab that by any chance, mate?
Hang on, we'll help them out a bit with this.
Well, I've got you there just on solo. Stay there on solo for a second. Tell us about that. That's a bit of a hobby. That's an offside thing you do, Ammz?
Yeah, it's not through only Ammz, unfortunately. It's through another. I do it for another Facebook page called Nicetho. That's NICETHO, and basically just do it as a side hustle. I started off actually making them as toys, but being fortunate now to jump into the model market. And as you can see, these cars behind me, these are actual models, but I still make the toys at the same time. And actual reason behind that is I want to give the kids of today something I never had, and I think other people my age or probably a little bit older could probably relate to that, and that is because we never had Speedway toys when I was a little kid. I mean, you could probably get the Sprintcar model or the Sprintcar toy from the shop, but there was stock cars, absolutely nothing. So I thought, oh, you know what, I'm going to give the kids of today something I never had, and that's actually purpose-built stock car toys. I mean, I try and build them as tough as I can, but that's inevitable. I mean, most kids like launching them off the tables and stuff, and they're not built for that purpose. So, but that's basically why I do it. It's just a side hustle of mine. I'm happy to say I've produced over probably close to 200 of them now, including these models behind me. But those who are model connoisseurs, you'll be happy to know I'll be looking to tap into their market. And but hey, still happy to do the toys at the same time. But basically, that's pretty much it. It's just giving the kids of today something I never had, and it's nothing more nostalgic like seeing kids on the living room floor, the makeshift speedway tracks with all the Hot Wheels and Matchbox cars littered all over the floor, even outside in the garden, making their own track in the garden with the, you use the grass clippings from the lawnmower, freshly mowed lawn for your infield, and you grab the water hose, put it on the lightest setting possible as your water truck. But hey, I cherish my childhood, and no doubt there'll be a lot of kids today who'd probably be doing the same.
Right, love it. That really hits the heart when you talk like that. And for the kids, this is something they get to keep at home. And I love what you're doing, bro, because I know you got a background when it comes to wood and everything, within the family and everything. And it just shows what you did. I can see you got the late Tamahata Petties modified there with the 9W on it, and classic, and see, it lives on through the models for the kids and everything like that. Look, that's bloody outstanding, mate. And what way? Sorry.
No, you're right. I'll wait till you're finished.
What Wayne Alton says, Ammz needs a medal for all his mahi does for the sport. His passion is unquestioned. And he's correct, bro. And that just shows the extent you go to. It's awesome. Aaron Lewis, love these awards. You're just an awesome dude. Great to see Miani practice. See you at the Sunday opening, Sharon. Hey, Marcus and Kaylee Tidd. How are you, Stu? Holy crap, you're on time. Who else we got? Shane Duran. What do we got here? Hanson dude, Ammz, Huntley South. But yeah, that's just cool, bro. I just want to go back and say that's really cool what you're doing. If you ever get into doing letterboxes, holler me up, bro. Holler me up. I think you got a thumbs up, got a bubble up.
I was sure back in the day that there was someone at Huntley used to have a table out with a lot of models on you could buy. Was I dreaming that, or was that right? Was someone doing that? Were they wooden ones, Ammz? Do you remember that?
I do actually, and that was the 1999 New Zealand, we called them stock cars, A-grade stock cars at the time, but it was the New Zealand stock car chaps, now known as super stocks. But it was the 1999 event, because I remember myself firsthand seeing that table full of models, but I thought they were toys. I wanted one, but at $90 for one, it was a bit over my parents' budget at the time. But I believe, I'm not too sure what the guy's name is, but I know which ones you're talking about. I believe that guy is doing open wheelers now as well. His name eludes me, but I know it's. I think the name that he runs under is New Zealand Speedway Models. So, someone probably who watching probably have more info better.
Yeah, well, there was the other guy, wasn't there? Was that guy that did them that out of Auckland? What was his name? Because remember, he used to do the real flash models. It was they were, but these ones at that stock car thing, they were. I'm sure they were ones that kids could play with as well. Like, they were quite cool. So I like the idea that what you're making is kids can play with them and smash them and do that type of thing, So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool. I think from memory, it used to be a guy I followed on Facebook way back called Models NZ. I used to do a bit of the Speedway stuff way back in the 90s. But yeah, no, you're right, B, man. They look awesome, man.
Even I had a go at them, Kinser, remember?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
I made I had a 3D printer, Ammz, and I printed out a few and did some models for people.
Yeah, I got my tank around here somewhere. Free beer at only Ammz's bar from Steve McDonald, bro. Is that true? Hey.
Always welcome at the
Always
crew,
one.
brother.
Hey, Carlos, how are you, mate? Ammz, you had a TV and camera.
Mark
Ammz, you had
Denton,
a
that's
TV.
him.
Mark Benton, that's
Mark
the name.
Denton, he did the
That's
flash ones, like those real
Mark
flash.
Benton. That's
Yeah.
it.
Incredible model maker. Yeah.
Ammz from Aaron McKenzie. Have you got one names of you sitting on Joe Farron's car? Hey, newbie mate, Pete Wilson watching, Scott Honeybone, Simon Smith. Ammz, you had a TV and a camera when you were a kid at Huntley from Kylie. You had a TV and a camera, bro. Actually, this is something I'm going to quickly ask you. Me and Books are talking about old days growing up with games. You know, kids who may have had an Atari, PlayStation. Did you have any of that stuff as a kid, bro?
Probably the furthest one I could probably go back to was probably the PS1, and as any true race car fan or simulator driver will know, that the OG of racing games is Gran Turismo 1, without a doubt, hands down.
You see, I never.
Racing game ever.
It's the,
But that was until Stock Car Heat 2005 came out. I was all over that. When I'd seen the New Zealand Dirt Track article of Stock Car Heat, my dreams had come true. Someone had made a stock car game, you know, and from that day onwards, I was all over it from day one. I wanted it, I got it, had fun with it, and you know, and Steve Emmett, no, he'll go down as a legend, a sim racing legend, you know, building all these mods, and now into R Factor 2, he's done R Factor 1 as well, you know, so just it's awesome, you know, just the stuff that people are doing out there.
Yeah, mate. Well, I mean, like, there was a huge team involved in that original KSS mod for R Factor 1, though, eh? Like, there's so many, like, now we're seeing Blendy transfer his skills from that into the new Palar games, you know, so that's coming out soon, another one. But yeah, but we never had, mate, I was probably a teenager when the first ones came out, and even then I still couldn't afford it. All you flash fellas had bloody PS1s and Nintendos and Commodores, and I mean, I never got my first computer until I was about 25.
Holy hell, that's only like 10 years ago. What the hell?
Yeah, like, so 10 years ago I got but that's what I mean, like, all these people, they grow up with all these games and that, but mate, I was too busy out drinking and driving real cars, and not race cars. Well, I did drive a race car, but once. But yeah, like, growing up, we didn't have. Yeah, it's incredible. I see some of the things come up these days lately with the 70s and 80s kids things coming up, you know, like what we did, and it's incredible. Like, that's why I say, get your kids off their games and that on Saturday night or Friday night, take them to a speedway track, because I remember the first time do you remember the first time I went to Speedway, kids? My first step, well, Kids wasn't even a late bloomer. Here's this, Ammz. He was a late bloomer. He didn't even know what Speedway was. His wife had to introduce him to it. Hey, how's that? But like, I remember my first time ever going to a Speedway track at Palmerston North there, and all my mates were running around, and I sat in my seat, and I was just blown away, sitting there like, wow, this is cool. And that was it for me. All my mates running around chasing girls and doing stuff. I got to the track and it was like, nah, this is me. Hey, you know, what was your first time, kids, at the track? Did you have to say to your wife, what are they doing? What are they doing?
Oh, like, my first one was in the mid-late 80s at Bay Park. Like you said, my wife took me to Bay Park, and she came from a background being associated, being a palmy girl. That's how she was into it. And her and her mother-in-law threw me in their car, and off we went. Never looked back since, to be honest. You know, just loved it. Loved the terracotta clay at the old Bay Park, and I really just enjoyed it. And yeah, I haven't stopped looking back, mate. And it's no different to how Ammz got into the love of games through the old stock car heat thing. But yeah, once you get it, you're hooked in there, bro. Marcus Sid, evening, boys. Hey, if you guys are into a bit of side chair bike action, come on out to Waharo on the second day meeting, 4th and 5th of January. The bikes are running on the Sunday. Oh, it could be a bit
Cool.
of a plan before I go head
So
down to
just
Dowson.
quickly, Kins, before we go too
Yeah.
far, so what was your first time at Speedway, Ammz? Who introduced you into Speedway, mate? Who was your person that said, "Come on, son, let's go"?
Well, it wasn't my dad actually. It was actually my grandfather, my koro on my mum's side. He goes right back to the old days of when Huntley first started, and then probably before that, Forest Lake. But he goes by the name of Alf Edwards. Those who are around when Huntley first started will know him. He's a very good friend of Red's. Unfortunately, he's not involved with Speedway anymore, but he was the guy that got me into it. He helped. He was part of the core team to help to build the Huntley track alongside Red when they first got going. He had been on the committee as well, and I think his last season was 2006, I think. But he raced at Forest Lake, and then when Forest Lake shut, they ended up racing at Rotorua, which is where a lot of the Hamilton drivers went to when Forest Lake closed down, and then and when Huntley was built, they raced at Huntley, and very privileged to carry on his legacy.
Good on you, bro. Good on you. You know, and that's what it's about, is continuing on that legacy stuff, and that's why you applied what you do in regards to your awards. The Speedway Awards of Excellence is back up and going. I see just a couple of quick notes here. Small Speedway Engineering also makes slot cars. That's from B-Man Walker. Hey, James, how are you, mate? Alan Flavel. Tony Whitaker makes a few little cars here, there. Yeah, GT1. Scott Honeybourne agrees with you. Kia ora, lads. From the NZ Super Artist. How good is this guy and his graphic work at the moment on social media and what he's creating with the 3D effects? Social media. 1986, Bay Park. I was dating Brian Gibney's daughter. I remember Brian Gibney.
Oh, bloody way, not on the snake, eh?
Yeah. I remember Brian. I know Brian, actually. Check you out, Wayne. That's who stole that bloody girl off me, eh? Bloody Wayne. Killed him, Mousy. Scott Honeybone. Mate, just to reiterate what you're doing, of course, that's what we're here to talk about. Your only Ammz Awards. They can follow you on social media.
Yeah, that's right. You can find me now on Facebook, where I originally started. You can now find me on Instagram, also TikTok, and as well as I have a Snapchat account going as well, which a lot of you guys have flocked to, I might add. But just while Books has got the graphic up there, I'll quickly run through the criteria and point allocation, which a lot of drivers over the last couple of days had asked me on how it works. I think some deserve a bloody hiding for asking me that question, but that's right. We'll carry on. So I'll quickly go through the categories. Sprint cars represented with the Alan Wakeling medalist. Modifieds is the Roger Bertram medalist award. Super saloons represented with the Tony Cardwell medalist award. Stock cars, none other more so than the Peter Rees medalist award, and the super stocks represented with the Shane Penn medalist award. Criteria, now this is available to any driver in those following classes I just rattled off. Doesn't matter if you race for a couple of meetings or you do the whole season. If you feature in the points, it's likely that you'll probably bag a couple of points here and there. But if I was to give any tips based off last season's efforts, it's consistency, I think, is the key. So, I mean, in saying that, it's not necessarily about trying to win each race, although it is a benefit or an advantage to try and win as much races as you can. But I think the key is just consistency, and that's racing week in and week out. I mean, as I'd say, you don't have to win the race. You can easily podium or be in a top 5 or 10 to easily score points. And if you keep that up throughout the majority, then hey, you're in with a shot. But yeah, I'll quickly go through the criteria. The sprint cars, modifieds, and super saloons, I've lowered it down to field sizes, no less than 5 on any given race night. So, and the reason I've done that is because the numbers on those classes obviously are just not as stacked as the stock cars and super stocks. The stock cars and super stocks field sizes on any given race night, no less than 10. Yeah, no less than 10 cars on any race night, whether that be a club night or a New Zealand Championship. It doesn't matter, as long as there's a field of 10 or more cars, hey, you're in with a shot. So, yeah. Yep, so we've got it there as 10 for both of those, plainly because they have more numbers than the sprint cars, modifieds, and the super saloons. So we'll go on to the points allocation real quickly. So, and as I said before, it's on any given race night, whether it's a club night, a club championship, or a New Zealand championship. All the points are the same. So for a race win, you register 4 points. Second and third, you receive 3 points, and if you're fourth or fifth, 2 points, and then rounding out the top 10 from 5th to 10th place is one single solitary point. So providing, as I mentioned before, the key word is consistency here. As long as you're consistent, you don't have to win every race. As long as you're there, you're in the hunt, hey, you're in with a shot and a chance. So some added initiatives here. Club championship win is 5 points additional to the points you accumulated that night. So if you accumulated a few points throughout the course of the night, but you ended up winning that club championship, doesn't matter what class it is, you'll get another 5 additional points on top of that total. For a New Zealand or Speedway New Zealand championship win, you'll get 6 points on top of that accumulated total, whatever you had accumulated through that night or through that championship. 6 points if you are the winner of that Speedway New Zealand championship title. But yeah, that's how the points allocation works. As I'd said, drivers, if you feel you've been hard done by with how I've done the points, more than happy just to flick me a message and just tell me about it. And hey, we'll look at correcting that. As I'd mentioned before, I can only rely on the MyLaps app. I wish there was another probably 20 of me that go to each track throughout New Zealand. Unfortunately, that's not the case. So just reach out to me, guys. Don't be shy. Just flick me a message. Hey, I don't feel my points are correct here. We'll go and have a look at it, and then we'll see what we can do to rectify that. But yeah, that's how it all works for the 2024-2025 Only Ammz Speedway Awards of Excellence starting this weekend. If you want a tip, then this will probably benefit the drivers probably towards the lower of the North Island, that Palmy, Miani, Whanganui, Wellington area. If you want to get your campaign off to a fantastic start, you should be doing 2 race nights that weekend. Doesn't matter which track it is. If you want to boost your maximum chances of getting ahead of everybody else, you should be doing 2 of those 2 race nights from either of those tracks, and I guarantee you'll be off to a fantastic start. But otherwise, team, that's pretty much it. I just want to take the chance to mention some of my sponsors or partners that help me out with this. Obviously, you guys, TRACKSIDE with Books and Kins. Thanks, guys. You guys have been with me since day one, going all the way back to the road to the New Zealand Superstock days. So, I mean, what you guys have done for me has been absolutely tremendous. So, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. What you guys do. Captured Media, which is the naming rights sponsor behind the Ultimate Performer, which we will do every week as well after race weekend, where fans will have the chance to vote for who I think are 4 or 5 drivers, one from each of those classes. And the fans will have the chance to vote to see who is their ultimate performer. Obviously, the driver with the most votes will be the ultimate performer for that week, brought to you by Capsule Media. JMax Speedway Chronicles will be back to sponsor the Superstock teams Echelon, as well as Maru Goodley from Legaspeed Media. And he will be backing the stock car teams Echelon. And I've had a couple more come on board as well with the Races Edge. Big shout out to Troy Adamson, who had formerly ran Palmy Superstock teams, I think it was. Unfortunately, he had lost both of his pages through Instagram and Facebook. But hey, good to see him back up and going now through the Races Edge. Already been popular over the last the last several days since he got going again. So a big shout out to Troy over in Brizzy. Mm-hmm. And of course, another one about to come on, but that'll be Mark Goodman as well with Bump and Run Photography. He's just started his own photography page, so when he gets that up and going, fam, please go over and support his content. He's a down-to-earth man, loves the speedway racing, and just loves everything to do with things that go fast. So when you see a pop-up team, go and support him. But otherwise, boys, that's pretty much me. Sorry, there's a bit of a handful, but and a mouthful, but yeah, very excited to get into starting up the Only Ammz Speedway Awards of Excellence this weekend.
Awesome, my bro. Hey, love
Awesome.
your work, love your mahi, and I know you put a time, a lot of passion into it. And we've got a few more questions that we'll get answered sometime. We catch up with you again. We do appreciate your time. We know it's the passion. We can see the models there, and give them a follow on Facebook. Keep in touch, and good luck at getting up early on Sunday mornings, going through my labs and doing the hard mahi, bro. But I can tell it's your love, it's your passion, and check those out. Check out his Facebook page. Look, that's what it's going to look like. Awesome, bro. Thanks for your chat and update with us on the show. It's always a pleasure to catch up with you. Let you go enjoy that family time and put the young one to bed and take care, my bro. We see you trackside soon, eh? No doubt on the camera.
Yes, boys. Thank you again for the opportunity to having me come on the show to explain all of this. I probably needed to because, as I mentioned before, a couple of the drivers had been messaging me asking how it all works. I think they probably deserve a hiding after asking, but hey, it's all good.
All right, bro. Hey, mate, keep smiling, keep doing the awesome work, and we'll catch up with you soon, eh, bro?
Thanks, boys.
See you later.
See you, bro.
There we go. Gotta
Yeah.
wrap it up with the Runaway, mate. Oh, Runaway. Anyway, you've been waiting for him to join up. Obviously, switching over from, well, we know him in the modified class. He ripped up in the class, and I don't know when was the last time he went back to his normal number. He always had a single digit on the car, but he keeps smiling, and this time he's transferred over to the sprint car, like you all been waiting for him. Here he is, looking smooth as brown. Hey, bro, how are you?
Yeah, good, man. How's it going?
We're good. We're good. Mate, you've had some long nights in the shed, I would guess, from the transition from the modified to the sprint car.
Yeah, it has been. I mean, the car was relatively complete, but it's probably more just the fit out because the likes of Western Springs, like you don't park in the pits. You park externally and got to wheel everything in. So the team, but that especially been working pretty hard, making little rollable trolleys and tire racks and quad storage and stuff like that. So just all the things that kind of set you up to hopefully make your life easier once the season's under full swing and real busy. But yeah, it's been good. Pretty much just been having like crew nights during the week and just getting the boys around smacking it out. So yeah, the light's at the end of the tunnel for sure.
Wicked, bro, wicked. Me and Books have followed you around at the modifieds, watched you, and mate, you've got skills to live for when it's out on the track. You got a nice, tidy driving line, and what you've done in your little modified. Was it just the inevitable, to make a switch over to the sprint car? And was it something you always had in your mind one day, I wanted to have a go at that?
Yeah, I mean, that's always been the ultimate dream. Like growing up, it was always kind of racing mods was kind of the thing to do. That's what Dad did. I always followed kind of the older guys in the class. But if I ever had a dream, it'd be sprint cars. I just probably never really thought it was possible.
Yeah.
But yeah, kind of as the years have progressed and we've kind of been fortunate to do quite well in the modified class, kind of had a few conversations rolling in the background for the last couple of years and got offered an opportunity end of last year once the season kind of came to a close. A deal that was pretty much too good to refuse. So, got in touch with someone that I thought might be keen on the modified who pretty much on the spot bought it. So that kind of took care of that. And then, the sprint car deal rolled into town and, it's all just kind of snowballed from that.
Yeah. Like Book say, we were down in Stratford and we watched this young man race down there, then with that little hiccup in one of the heats, and then to come back and did what he did and to walk away on the podium.
Yeah.
On the podium, it was like
we were talking beforehand, like me and Kins, about you and your switch to the sprint cars, and we both believe that you're going to do very, very well. Hopefully that doesn't jinx you, touch wood and all that sort of stuff. But you've got to be one of the top drivers I've seen drive a slick track so well. And to me, those sprint cars, the track could probably slick up pretty quick, I would imagine, with the power and the speed. And to me, that I would think that'd be a bit of an advantage because you're very, very good on a slick track, mate.
Yeah, most guys don't like a slick track. They like it kind of wide open and big, heavy track, which is fun. But for me, I've always kind of gone off the theory all the titles will be on a slick track. that's where you got to kind of make the car work. So, inevitably the tracks will be slick, and it's something I'm looking forward to. But I think it is a completely different ball game. Like, I know, like, the frames are similar and the wings and the diff, like everything's similar, but I've had a couple of practice runs now, and it is quite different. And that's kind of racing on my own. Like, add 20 cars to the mix, I think it's going to be pretty full on. So, I mean, I'd like to think that once I get used to the car and handling and find a bit of a base setup that works for me, I'd like to think that as the time goes on, that I will progress through the ranks as best as I can. It's going to be interesting for sure, because does that modified background and setup knowledge and I guess slick seat time, does that transfer over, or is it just you've got to just wipe the slate clean and start again? So I'm probably just as interested as everyone else that's talking about it or asking me, to be honest. But it's a good challenge because going from mini stocks to modifieds 9 odd years ago, like, I never thought I'd win a New Zealand title. Like, you always dream of it, but you probably think it's maybe out of the reach. And then you see Foxy and Jacko and all these guys, and then next thing you're racing with them, next thing you're beating them. And we're fortunate to have a good run in the last 5-6 years. We've had a number on the car, and it's still awesome to be doing those things. But it got to the point where it's like, shit, how far can I go? Is that me, or can I keep going? I'm really keen to see with this transition, how we're going to go. Like, is my setup knowledge going to progress, and can we make something work and climb away? But just really excited for the opportunity. Really, it's always been something I've dreamed of doing. So now we've got to see how we get on.
For
Hey,
me,
you mentioned the name Foxy in amongst that little chat. Luke, you said Foxy's name. Knowing very well you've raced, like you said, 9 years on your transition to mini stocks. With Foxy and the announcement of his retirement after racing modifieds for 100 years, did you think, oh, maybe I want to hang in one more year just to race against a good mate that's been competitive over my 9 years? Or their sprint car deal was just too good to go, nah, I've got to do it, go to sprint car?
Yeah, to be honest, if I had a choice, like if I had a decent choice, I would have ended up probably this year. What Jam and Foxy's team have done, like in prep for this season, that's pretty awesome. It's good for the class, good for the sport. And obviously, Foxy's someone that I used to, when I was watching Dad in the grandstands when I was a little kid, he was the man winning everything. And I think it'd be quite cool to race with him in the last year. But this deal was too good to pass up, man. It was a no-brainer. So, but in saying that, I'm not saying that I won't hop in a mod at some stage during the year. So you might see me out there. Might have a deal going. So, but hopefully there's a slick track or two. But no, it should be good, man. I'll be still following the class. I'm helping the new owners of our car, Kaylee Brooks. She's taken to it like a duck to water. So really want to help her out as well and kind of see her progress through the ranks. She's a real killer driver. So try to get her cranked up on the slick tracks as well. And maybe the car can have a number on it for the 7th year in a row. Who knows?
Very nice. What were you going to say, Books?
I was just going to say, like, we went to Bay Park last year, and I talk about it all the time on the show to people about, I sat there and watched these sprint cars at Bay Park, and it just blew my mind. Like, just holy snap and duck shit, the speed that they go into the corner and then turn. Have you had to adjust? Just my point by that is they obviously go into a corner a lot hotter and a lot faster than a modified does. Do you have to mentally adjust yourself to not lift too early? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you've been doing it for, like, you say, 9 years in that modified, and you know when to lift, when to go. But with the sprint cars, they seem to just go all the way in full on, and then bang, bang, they're gone. So mentally, do you have to sort of train yourself to say, no, not yet, not yet, not yet?
Yeah, I'll let you know after opening night. Nah, but that's true though, because I did my first proper practice in the car on the weekend at Kiki, and it was a bit of a slick track. But if I had to describe it, I'm not a gamer, but if you if you had the sensitivity level for a modified, probably 20%, but sprint car, turn it up to 100. Like the turning, the speed, everything's just on the limit. But that's the first thing I noticed was going down the straight, and where I'd kind of normally roll off a bit, give it some brake and turn, I actually ended up half on the infield because like just a little bit of wheel input in it, they just turn. It's got the front wing, they're so light. So yeah, definitely that's probably going to be the biggest adjustment. Like the speed is different, but it's still the same kind of principle with the speed. So the speed will be a difference, but I think the big thing will be the handling and the commitment in the corners. The modifieds, you really set them up a certain way, and being a bit bigger and heavier, you kind of know what you can do. Where the sprint cars, yeah, they definitely just, I guess, drive them off the end. So I think that's going to be the biggest learning curve is along with that, just finding a bit of a base setup that works for me, that I can, confidently do that. And then it's a matter of doing it around other cars as well. So I'm sure it'll come with laps, but yeah, that was the first run on the weekend with 3 other cars there, which was quite good. And then, yeah, I guess pretty much ask me in a few weeks' time or a few months' time, and I'll let you know. But yeah, that's going to be a bit of a
it was interesting.
challenge.
That was interesting to me about that because you train your mind. I've talked about from other sports people and drivers and that about like, and especially in the rally car side of things, how the mental side of it is quite a big part of your driving, And I would have thought that with your brain's trained to, like you say, you turn too early so yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But I think you'll be fine. But I just wondered if you sort of thought about it. That's all. It was my point. Was you thinking about the transition of that deeper into the corner and.
Yeah, like you say, when you do something for so long, you just know. I mean, I suppose it's like any of the mod guys. They could probably get out for a few years, jump straight back in, and that first race they'd be fine. They'd remember where they pick up and throttle and brake and everything. So yeah, it's kind of like everything you kind of know, you have to forget somewhat, and just, I guess, just go in with open eyes and just be a bit of a sponge and learn again. Try not to fall into old habits because that might not really work.
Oh, new guest.
Notice. He's all about it.
Come to have a nosy, come. But I guess a lot of it though will come down to muscle memory. Your body's so accustomed to the modified within your arms and what you do through your legs with the accelerator and everything, and it's just going to be a whole new muscle memory thing. And I guess it's no different, Spooks, to those guys that are made to jump out of super stocks into super saloons, adjusting to all of that.
Well,
and
that's
realize,
right. Yeah, that's going to
you
be
drive it
interesting
as
for them.
you would drive it as a greaser, but realizing you have a bumper, but you don't have a bumper, and the thing can just disintegrate. So it's no different to what you've got to experience, Luke. I'm guessing from the modified, it's a bit quicker in a sprint car, but it's just a different style altogether.
I mean, I guess we're kind of lucky, like the principle's the same. Like, I guess going from like a midget to a sprint car would be super radical, or like, I imagine, I haven't driven either, but a super stock to a super saloon, they seem polar opposite. So I guess it's kind of cool that technically the theory is the same, even though it's kind of different. But I'm just as curious as others to see what it's going to be like once I kind of get going and get some pace. But yeah, really excited for the challenge, and let's see how we end up towards the end of the season.
Well, bring it on, mate, because I've just put up, obviously, your schedule of race days there, 2nd of November, which isn't that far away. You'll be part of the fireworks at Kiki. Then, of course, you're going to have a bit of racing at Western Springs. Back to Kiki, Western Springs, you got Bay Park. Before the year is over, while he's scaring out the fly and spraying him away, he's got a blowfly in his little camper there. And then, of course, New Year, you're back at Western Springs, Bay Park, Kiki, and Springs. Pretty well 3 tracks that's going to be trying to get you under the radar sprint cars and everything like that, mate.
Yeah, it's quite good that pretty much within probably a 2-hour radius of home, we can pretty much run a full season of like 18 shows. So, and there's the opportunities as well to go to like Palmerston North and Ruapuna and that, but we'll just see how we're tracking budget wise and everything. It's 18 shows is more than enough for me. So we'll just see how we're feeling towards the back end of the year. If we're going all right, we could maybe slip in a couple more, but I'd say with everything going on, 18 shows is probably a good number.
Yeah, definitely.
And
What do you got? Beast track or sprint? So carry on, books. Carry on.
how's the young family, mate? The little one must be growing up super fast in front of your eyes, eh?
Yeah, he's walking now, so it's all gone pretty
Oh.
quick. Yeah, Tasha's real good. She's real good with Brax. She's a great mum, and Brax is he's off. He's always in the garage. He loves anything wheels and cars. He's just all about it. So,
It's in the blood. It's
That's
going to happen. Eh? You're gonna be
Yeah.
building this. You're going to be building a mini stock in about bloody probably 10 years time, mate.
yeah, I know. That's inevitable. I think it's probably going to happen. So.
Oh, it's cool. Look, and it's your passion, it's your love, obviously, and can only filter down to the young one. Greg says best track for sprint cars, Bay Park. You'll love it there, Luke. Can't wait to follow your journey in sprint cars. I followed you the whole time in modifieds. That's Keegan Moore. Grendon, mate, how are you, Grendon? How did you find Kiki to Auckland from Mike Harvey, Mr. Repco? How did you find Kiki from having a bit of a jam up there in Auckland?
Yeah, I mean, Kiki's only other track I've been to, but there's awesome. Like, because it's it's not quite banked, but it's got some banking there, and it's kind of wide, I guess, wide radius corners. So, I imagine when you've got a full field of cars, it'll be fast. But yeah, it was faster. It's nice with the banking. Waikareka, you get up halfway across the track, and then it kind of tapers off. So you got to be I think sprint car wise, you got to pretty much run down low or low to mid, where Kiki you can run right on the fence. So yeah, definitely love Kiki. First time there really, and it was bloody cool. So yeah, it'd be nice with 16 odd other cars at opening. Yeah, but it was seriously cool. Really enjoyed it compared to Waikareka.
Yeah. What I like, and I've just had a quick look back at your race calendar, and it's pretty well the three tracks: Bay Park, Westerns, and Kiki. Mate, you're throwing yourself into some big bloody meetings. You've got the International Sprint Cars, you've got the 70th anniversary, Silver Cup, Supercars, Spectacular. You're going to be there when they have the New Zealand Midgets Crown. You got the Silver Crown, Sprint Car teams, the GP, the 50 lap of the North Islands, then the New Zealands, and then you're doing the Legends. Mate, you aren't going into this like
Yeah.
just little steps at a time. You're going in at full bore. This is the big names. They're going to get a taste of Luke Brown.
Yeah. Well, I'm just interested to see, like, I've always backed my own ability, and I think, once we get used to things, I'm really excited to see how do we go with some of these top dogs that you've watched for so long, and especially with the Springs only having one more year, we just thought, it's a no-brainer to just get there as often as we can, just be all about it. I've always gone there with Tash or family during the summertime, watch internationals or whatever. So just to be part of that, part of the atmosphere, and just see what it's all about, and just go hard from the start and try our best.
That's pretty cool though, to be a part of the, you get to be a part of the Springs final year. I mean, that's just special in itself, and I mean that's an iconic racetrack in itself. I mean, it's just I've only ever been there once, and it blew my mind. Just awesome. I went there for the internationals, and incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been nice to have raced there before or a bit longer. Like, we tried a few times in the mods, and COVID and weather and other stuff got in the way, but would be nice to do more there. But I mean, there's future plans there for an upgraded track in Auckland, so we'll see what eventuates. But yeah, it'd be cool on the last kind of shindig to have a go and just be smack bang in the middle of all the excitement.
Wicked, bro, wicked. Hey, you're also well known for producing great merchandise. You got anything planned now with the sprint car that's coming out?
Yeah. We'll have full merch up and going once the season starts. So just in the middle of teeing something up at the moment. So merchandise, posters, got colouring and stuff for the kids.
Cool.
Yeah, we'll do a whole lot of stuff like that. Just get the fans and kids interested. That's what it's all about, getting the families and young kids involved, and that's kind of the future of the sport, and that's the people we want to promote, target for promotion. So we'll have a lot come around the season, so I'll keep that updated on the socials.
Cool. And talking of the social, you can follow that little link there. That's where you'll see all the information on the Facebook page there as well. And it does great merch. So give it a follow, buy some merch, and help young Luke out. And the other part behind the shed, nice like you say, throughout the week. Obviously, sprint cars are a little bit of a different deal. Is the sponsors that are associated with you, mate? And I'll bring this little bit up, but you got them. You can do the bit of a shout out, eh?
Yeah. I'm really fortunate this year. So I've got a great team on board. So we've got ITM Whangarei in Bay of Islands. We've got SG Equipment, Yale Forklifts. We've got Pallet Supplies, Loscam, Bayes Engineering, Chilex Group, Tinker, Penrose Motors, DC Electricians, Tracksport Engines, TMK Packers, Prestige Pools, Ross's Plumbing, Lucas Oils, Smith Racing, Boss Powder Coating, Absolute Panel and Paint, and just the team that helps out as well. So my wife Tash, Dad, we've got Trent Gibbs, we've got Marky the Sparky, and we've got Darren and Adele. So we've got a cool team, and we've got some awesome sponsors on board. So yeah, we'll try and have some fun and try and do everyone proud along the way.
Didn't your dad get interviewed last year on the pits at that bloody sprint car thing down in down in South Island? Jason interviewed him, didn't realise who he was, did he?
Yeah, we're stealth, mate. We're under the radar. Yeah, no, he's because he's managed PG Hydraulics for like 30 years. So Phil, so he went down with Phil to help crew and help out with that. So yeah, he went down there, so that was pretty cool.
So it must help that your dad's been around it for a while as well, the sprint car side, has he, with Phil Game type thing? It must help you with your setup, is it? Or
he was involved like quite a while ago, because Phil hasn't really raced competitively for I don't know, maybe 10, 15 odd years.
You wouldn't have thought so though.
yeah. So yeah, he back in the day, like Dad was around helping him, and then it's kind of hard because like setup and that has changed quite a bit over the years. Like even like with Phil, talking to Phil about shock stuff, everything's adjustable now, and what you're kind of doing with tying shocks down and that is a little bit different. So the bare principles are the same, but a lot of things are kind of developing. But yeah, it's always good to have kind of the background. It doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Exactly. Look, our show here at Kokpit Trackside is brought to you by GARAGE16. I think we've got a new sponsor. Can you lift up that black can for a second? This is our new sponsor, Black Flag. We show the spray can, bro.
14, bro. Look there.
Oh,
Well,
what
the thing
is
is
our
that-
new sponsor?
What happened, you see, is Hawke's Bay got hot today, so I've had to leave the door open on the camper and the lights on, and the bloody bugs have decided that they want to come watch the show.
Hey, like Ammz says, give the more team fly spray box. Give it to the Miani flag man so he can use it to disqualify drivers. Spray it when they go fast. Hey, well, Luke, mate, I know you've had a busy day here with the crew and everything. And look, we wish you all the best. You're a quality driver, mate, and this is great to see you go into the sprint car class. We wish you all the best. Look, it's going to be big learning in amongst some of the top guns, like you say, but you're throwing yourself in amongst it with all those big meetings, starting from the second, and to you, Tash, and your family and all your crew in there, mate. We could only but say, good on you for doing what you do, and wish you all the best. And no doubt, you can't help yourself. You'll be jumping in a modified one day, mate, back out there.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And yeah, there's no sprint car racing on the 14th and 15th of Feb. And I think that just so happens when the New Zealand Modified Champs is on. So we'll see how we go.
Hey!
Well, me and Kins will be there for that one. So.
No, sounds good. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks very much.
Hey, thanks, Luke, for your time, mate. And we look forward to seeing how you progress this season, mate.
Cheers. Cool. Thanks, guys.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you, Luke.
Awesome. Luke Brown, Sprint Car 89A, and looking forward to an outstanding season. And there you go. You might have let the cat out of the bag on that one.
Yeah, I think that he's got something planned for the New Zealand Modifieds. But the thing is, because he raced last year, he won't have to do a meeting to qualify, will he? I don't know how that works. So, yeah. So that's cool, though. That's cool if that's the case. Because what we were saying the other day, we were saying it was going to be different without Luke there with the modifieds. Hey.
Yeah, definitely.
Better get your shit together, Brad Lane.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Supposed to be 27 degrees tomorrow. Books in your town.
Oh, I know. Well, yeah, I was going to get up and shut the door when they started to come in, the bastard. Buggers. So, yeah, I don't know who they think they are. Bloody freeloaders.
Oh,
Aye.
taking over, mate. Taking over. Hey, it's been good to catch Amber on. Don't forget to give him a follow on his Facebook page. He's doing his best to keep it awards going on for excellence in Speedway. So, yeah, if any of the drivers have any questions, I know Mike had a question around there. What happens if it's a tie? Sometime Ammz might be able to update on his Facebook page. He might even do an update himself on a video and just go live. So, it keeps it consistent. That's all he wants is consistency throughout the season. And this is the opportunity for those drivers this weekend to get out and do 2 tracks. As I mentioned, there's 6 tracks at the start of the show starting on Saturday, 5 getting underway up and down the country. If you can make it near to your nearest track like Palmy and Miani or Wanganui, whatever. Yeah, get in there, get in amongst it. Labour weekend. So Books is going to Palmy and he'll be back at his home track at
Yeah,
Miani.
I'm not going to Palmy Speedway though. So, but yeah, I'll be in Palmy, but not for the Speedway.
Hey, Trent James has jumped. Trent James has jumped in. Hey, Trent, hey, 1
Oh,
5
yeah, we
16.
want to know what's going on there with that bloody P boy, hey?
Yeah, so,
Get that
it's
quiet.
just,
Good
yeah,
on him.
Trent will be our guest on the show next week. Now he's jumped in there.
We'll get Trent and Randy on.
Yeah, why not? Why not? What's
Find
going
out what
on?
the transition was.
Hey, but anyway, if you're going to be traveling away for your long weekend, as most do, because the next
Yes.
long weekend isn't ready until the Christmas and New Year's, please lead the race into the Speedway track. Be safe on the road, especially if you're taking your family with you. Enjoy your 3-day weekend. For some who have a 4-day weekend, like the Hawke's Bay, have a massive weekend. And for those who will be out and about watching whatever sports played across the weekend, they might be go the Kiwis up against the Aussies and the Kiwi Ferns and the Jillaroos and everything like that, the Kangaroos. But it's going to be a massive weekend for the Pacific Championship. But otherwise, bottom line really is be safe out there when you're traveling around for the long weekend.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Be safe and get to your destination safely and back home to your family. That's the most important thing. But definitely get your backside trackside, because that's where the best way we can support our tracks and support the sport is put our bums on the seats.
Yep. Backside trackside.
Get your backside trackside. Yep.
It's a new hashtag. No one take it. That's ours. That's ours. New hashtag.
And just remember too, if you're watching posts during the season, you see someone saying something that isn't really nice or is offensive towards someone, pick it on them. Just say, hey, look, that's not nice. You shouldn't be doing that. And we all band together. Maybe we can try and put a stop to it. But yeah, be nice to everybody. Be nice to each other and support each other.
Mate, if I see that, mate, you don't want me to turn into Jake the Muss. That's the last thing. I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Yeah. If kids was Jake the Muss, he'd cook his own eggs. So
my wife would tell me, cook your own bacon.
Okay, team, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate your support once again. We look forward to catching up with you around the tracks. I'll probably do a pit walk live on Sunday at Miani. Maru, you've got a job to do there, mate. Thank you. No. I'll get Maru to jump on the camera for me if he can. But yeah, enjoy your weekend, team. And hey, listen, tell us. We asked earlier, I said, Kins, about what people's first experience of Speedway was. Chuck in the comments, what was your first experience? Maybe we'll do a post and learn about what everyone's first experience of Speedway was, and we might run a competition or something.
And we don't meet in the backseat of the car in the pits too.
Yeah.
Watching the race. Come on, family show. Yeah, that's all good. But take care. Enjoy your weekend, and next Wednesday we'll catch up with Trent and Randy.
Okay, team. Thank you. See you later. Holy snapping duck shit.
My good mate from Booker joins us.
I'm excited for another great show tonight. Give it the hoot, Natty.